Bugün 5 alet seyredeceğiz sizlerle beraber.
Here are the finalists in the men's floor exercise. The first reserve, Alexander Kartsev, has come in for sixth strongest qualifier, Tang Zheheng.
Ve arkasından da serilerini gerçekleştirecekler.
Top performer in qualification, Spain's Redley Zapata, and he will be the second gymnast to go. He is a World Championship and Olympic medalist on
bir sürpriz
floor.
var, şovlar var, gösteriler var. Birçok hediye kazanacağınız oyunlar var. Vestel, Dünya Kupası 2026 başladı.
So in the first half of this final, we have got Alexander Kartsev, 13.4 in qualification. Reza Pata, 13.966, the top qualifier. Janxing, Hong Kong, China, 13.433, the 8th best in the qualification process. And Theo Gadarud, depending on which of his teammates you are, 13.666, third best in qualification. Second half of the floor final, we'll have Abdulaziz Mirvaliev, who was the 7th best, Eamon Montgomery, the 5th best, and Zekribar, the 2nd best. Keep a very close eye on him, he's the penultimate gymnast to go. And Eldrew Yulo, he'll be the last to go as the 4th best in qualification. I think what's really interesting in all of this is that there was less than 1/10 of a mark separating 3rd and 7th in qualifying. So really, this is a floor final that is anyone's guess. It should be really very engrossing. We're going to go one after the other in all of these finals. There won't be any simultaneous finals. So 5 separate medal events. And we start with first reserve, Alexander Kartsev. He has already been on the World Cup podium this season.
İlk olarak Alexander Kartsev. Yer hareketlerinde, yer aletinde serisini gerçekleştirecek.
Alexander Kartsev, the first to compete. 13.4 in qualification, but with 3 penalty tenths. The only one in this final to have 3 penalty tenths for going out of bounds, quite considerably. So if he gets rid of that, then he's right in the mix. He has straight away incurred a 10th penalty. And he's done it again. Nice pike position, but having some issues with his landing precision. Again, decent work in the air in his side pass. Twisting looked fine, but every little landing is giving a little away. Not that time. Good straight body position and heel togetherness in the Wender Schwings. Double pike to conclude, and again he's out of bounds. It's a very mechanically sound tumbling, but the tidiness of it
arkasından bir
will
başka
be
sporcu
problematic,
gelecek
as
ama
with all of those
öncesinde her
penalties.
zaman olduğu gibi minik sürprizlerimiz var size. İşte onlardan bir tanesi başlıyor. Güçlü bir alkış alalım. Her boşlukta bir gösteri var bugün.
Coming in as the first reserve, let's have a look back at this display from the 24-year-old who competed at the Olympic Games in Tokyo. Or not. There we go. This was one of the stronger points of his exercise in terms of his cleanliness.
Evet, sıradaki sporcu şu an hazır.
It's the double pipe to
Riley
conclude.
Zapata,
Comes down quite jarred,
España,
hops out of bounds.
representing Spain. Evet, birazdan olimpiyatlara katılmış ve orada derece yapmış bir sporcu seyredeceğiz hep beraber. Yer altındaki iddialı sporculardan bir tanesi.
Quite a wait for this opening score for Alexander Kartsev. If you are just joining, we're in the men's floor final at the Antalya World Cup of Artistic Gymnastics, and it is a 12.866 for Kartsev. 5 penalty tenths in the end, all of that a lot more problematic than the qualification process. So he's down by about 3/4 of a mark. This is Riley Zapata of Spain. World and Olympic medalist on this apparatus. Top in qualification, 13.966. Very solid beginning. Nice combination of power and elegance. Tidiest in flight, but tidy-ish as he landed. A bit of wildness to the twist position, a fair amount of heel separation. A very poised, wide-armed handstand. And a big double layout to conclude. Takes a little adjustment hop forwards, but should score rather nicely. There's a fair bit of complexity in that floor exercise. He had the highest difficulty in qualification, actually the lowest execution of any qualifier. Riley Zapata of Spain, born in Santo Domingo in the Dominican Republic. But he competes for the Lanzarote club. He's talked a lot about the need for weight training as he's got older, and he's trying to avoid overloading himself in his career, trying to be sparing in actually what he does gymnastically, to manage his body intelligently, as all gymnasts do when they enter the more senior phase of their career. And there's a lot of fairly complex and interesting looking tumbling going on. Double layout had a good amount of amplitude to conclude. Interesting to have a look at the execution score as he reminds us all, as if we needed that reminder, that he is an accomplished Olympian 3 times, including a silver medal in Tokyo in this particular event. Absolute veteran, oldest in the competition. And he and his camp are pretty happy with how that's gone. Just go back to what I was saying about the tightness of the qualification process, that it really could be one of those things where very small moments in the routine actually determine a gymnast placement, not by a position but by 3 or 4 positions because of how little separated them in the preliminary round. Almost feels like a rings final in terms of the closeness of them all. Zapata's tattoo, by the way, for his daughter Olympia. He dedicated his Olympic medal to her. Also had his son Cairo a couple of years later. .333. So yes, it is quite a bit down from qualification. Didn't get quite as much difficulty. 3 penalty tenths. Execution a little lower. So all of that has rather opened the door. That's the top qualifier, 6 tenths down or so from qualifying. Now watch this young lad very carefully. He's a promising athlete, Zhan Xing from Hong Kong, China. Did his best to stay in bounds. Oh, that's a lovely bit of form in the double layout. Again, close to and probably over the line. Just having, yes, its facial reaction shows it. Just all those little issues on landing, and sadly they're all amounting to penalties, but there's a lot to like, isn't there? Nice issue-free traditional handstand. Got a little bit of style, hasn't he? Oh, that'll do the job. What a double pike to finish. Well done, that young man. Senior international debutant. It's a very special moment for the Hong Kong squad. They've got 2 finalists today across the men's and women's competitions. And he's a real prospect for the future. They both are actually the 2 gymnasts. Joanne Chan's also going to be competing. Very likeable performer in terms of the style of his gymnastics. Yes, there are going to be landing issues that probably make it difficult for him to contend, but look at the arch of the back in the layout position. That's quite elegant. And this is the end. Small amount of knee bend in the double pike. But yes, celebrate that, you're right to. I think he's one of those ones just to keep in the corner of your mind. Revisit, revisit him as his career goes on. He was the 8th best in qualification, 13.433. .3. Second place as things stand. Does have 3 penalty tenths. Well done though. Theodor Gaderud from Norway, 3rd best in qualification. Oh, that was a touch on the wild side. Nice twisting, held that landing beautifully. Lovely little bit of elegance and flow as he transitions from one space to another. Again, the wide handstand performed with accuracy. Arabesque position, inspired by classical ballet. His twisting's got a lot to really like. Yes, great hold at the end. Double pike to finish. That is a super recovery, considering that he basically pressed the emergency button on that opening tumbling pass and had to find some way out of it to as safe a landing as possible. That shows real strength of character, that he managed to rescue that, because a lot of gymnasts, understandably, it's only human nature, would be very unsettled by the issues right at the start. I think more twists were intended in that opening pass. So the difficulty score will be interesting to look at. Ended up going into a tuck position. But the positives are this very nice twisting work. Lovely extension of the body, stretches neatly. And this is his double pike. Consider that one landed. The man from the University of California, Berkeley, political economy student. .966, and it's a 4.8 difficulty score compared to 5.1 in qualification for those issues with the opening tumbling pass. But he did very well to turn that into the performance that it ultimately was. Well, we find ourselves at the halfway stage of a very interesting men's floor final. It is quite complicated, because the top qualifier, Reza Pata, had a few execution issues here and there, along with some penalty tenths that he didn't have in qualification. All of that has meant that he's dropped by 6/10. Opens the door, doesn't it, for others? We're in the very unusual situation where every single one of the competitors still to come in the second half of this final have a higher score from qualifying than the current leader's score. So good time to make sure that you're in your seats and ready to enjoy this second half of the men's floor final in Antalya. Here's a very accomplished floor vaulter from Uzbekistan, Abdulaziz Mirvaliev, from historic Tashkent. And he won the floor and vault double at his home World Cup last year, and it's with skills like that, very assured first landing. Very compact gymnast, efficient technique. Lovely bit of twisting, had a sideways lilt as he came down to ground, but his form in flight is very secure. A slightly wild feel at times to the vendor strings in terms of the hand placement. What a big wobble going into that arabesque and it never really looked as though he'd hit that. This double pike has a fair amount of backwards adjustment. Interesting, something of a mixed bag from Abdulaziz Mirvaliev. When that was good, it was really good. But there are also points where probably execution is at risk of really hemorrhaging. So an interesting one. And one thing that's problematic is that little balance position. He's probably going to lose a good few tenths of a mark. Maybe around a third of a mark will go just for that balance issue. His form in the air, that's where he's at his best. He's got a small amount of knee bend, which is very common in those pike positions, but it creates a good sense of geometry in his tumbling. 13.533 in qualifying. He did have a 0.1 bonus as well for hitting the landing on that final tumbling pass, for sticking it and not moving the feet. He won't have that here. So does that mean Zapata will hold on? .233. He has held on, and in fact Mirvaliev is down into third place, and that means the young man from Hong Kong is still in second. Now Eamon Montgomery of Ireland, this is a gymnast of real elegance when he's at his best on floor. Starts with a side pass. Nice to see him back in World Cup competition in a televised final. Good pike work again, though a bit of adjustment as he comes out of it, slightly over-rotated. That's lovely. Combining twisting and tucked skills with solid-looking landing. Ooh, did well to hold that, because the legs as they came down were perfect. The legs in flight, less so. It's a great bit of adjustment. These landings are getting better and better. Interesting from Eamon Montgomery of Ireland. He's made a good case for himself with that display. The 23-year-old who was born in West Belfast but has spent a lot of his life in Dublin. Competed at 2 World Championships, also at the Commonwealth Games. That 2022 Games was the first time that Northern Ireland had 3 gymnasts in finals. This was a compelling display. Isn't it nice to see him back? 2024, his last international competition. This is particularly good positionally. Twisting round, gets a good clean tuck position, lands it nicely. Yeah, there's no doubt about it. Has to lead, doesn't it, by a long way. 13.833 from Eamon Montgomery. Execution 8.533, the best that we've seen. That is going to be hard to beat, but this lad could do it. Ante Hribar of Slovenia. Second best in qualification, 13.8, and the leading score is just a few hundredths higher than that. But it will depend on extremely good execution, and he's taken a penalty 10th straight away. which he didn't have in qualification. Bit of a jarred landing, lots of height. He's either over or undercooked on all of his landings at the moment, which is a shame because there's real amplitude. Lovely strength shown in his wide handstand. Just these little landing adjustments here and there that might make it hard for him to overpower Montgomery. The scale is no longer a compulsory requirement. Great finish, he'll pick up a bonus 10th for that, almost certainly. And Zehribar, well, he may well be in contention for a place on the podium, but whether he can get up to where Montgomery is, that is trickier. It's 13.3 plus to get a medal. We've still got one to come, and it's a very good one to come. Side pass from Zehribar, has a back step as he lands it, and there were a few landings like that with quite big adjustments. That's a fair old size pace forward. Held that nicely though. It's another of those routines that had moments that were very compelling, but quite a lot of accumulated execution deductions. So the anxious wait now for Zehribar. Won a couple of silver medals in World Cup competition last season. It's taking its time, and it's not enough. 12.866. The penalties were 0.5 of a mark. Remove those and he's way up the leaderboard. So we have got Montgomery leading, we've got Zapata second, and we've got Jan, who is in third place. Eldrew Yulo of the Philippines, 13.666 in qualification, fourth best. If he gets that here, and he started well, he'll win silver. Looks like he's just held that in bounds. He's on course so far. Oh, that's a very elegant, almost balletic move up into handstand. How can you make a handstand look like ballet? Don't know, but he does it. Great landing, imprecision in the leg position in flight. That was a well-held Y scale. Giving little bits and pieces away, but he's holding firm. Now's the final pass, double layout, lovely. Close to getting the bonus. Very impressive display from Eldrew Yulo. The younger brother of the great Carlos. Junior World Championship bronze medalist on this apparatus last year in his home city. That's an exciting bit of gymnastics. And either way, whatever happens, we're going to have an 18-year-old new senior from Asia on the podium. It'll either be him or Janzing. He will feel fairly confident after this performance. Very good form, nice attempt to point the toes, small backwards adjustment, very small. He did pick up the 1/10 bonus in qualification for a 13.666. Montgomery leading on 13.833. Then it's Spain, then it's Hong Kong, silver and bronze. He's got it! 14.1 from Eldrew Yulo. Managed to find an extra couple of tenths of difficulty with an 8.8 for execution. There is your champion, Eldrew Yulo. His first senior international gold medal. The classified results in the men's floor competition: bronze to Redley Zapata of Spain, silver to Ireland's Eamon Montgomery, and the gold medal won by Eldrew Yulo of the Philippines, his maiden senior international title. The finalists in the men's pommel horse competition: the top performer in qualifications in Olly Idrisov of Kazakhstan. He will go after the reigning Olympic champion, Ireland's Rhys McClenaghan. Very high quality of final, we expect. Look out over the Ibrahim Çolak Gymnastics Hall in Antalya, Türkiye. Great atmosphere here, and great to have your company as well, wherever it is that you're watching the action from, whoever you are supporting, or if you're just simply supporting the sport of gymnastics. I'm sure there's some of you watching at very unsociable times of the day and night. Grateful to you for your fellowship, for following this sport of gymnastics and taking time out of your weekend to sit down in front of the TV and relax with some top-level gymnastics competition from Antalya. Now we've got the top qualifier in the first half of the men's pommel horse final. That's in Olly Idrisov. We've also got the second highest qualifier. That's Saveli Siedin. And we've also got the third best qualifier. He happens, by the way, to be the Olympic champion. So it is a rather intense start to the final as we anticipate it. And we'll wait until the very end to see Matvei Petrov of Albania, who was the fourth best in qualification. Really high level globally in pommel horse gymnastics at the moment. Some exciting competitors are out there, and the great Max Whitlock has just announced his return, made that decision public over the Christmas holidays. He just recently had his first competition in some while. That was domestically. This gentleman is now back internationally, the Olympic champion from Paris. A gentleman who beat Max Whitlock at the Commonwealth Games in 2018, a huge moment in his career. He's had real injury issues. He's worked so hard to overcome them. He works so hard at everything he does. Rhys McClenaghan of Ireland, here is your Olympic champion, and we are privileged to welcome him back to an international final. He comes back with a slightly different name from last time because he's now Rhys McClenaghan MBE. But he's still just same old brilliant on pommel horse Rhys that we know and love. Scissors powerfully into the opening. Beautiful Wendeschwings, that skill of cutting out the midsection of the apparatus. Heels well positioned together. Did seem to get a little bit of contact there. He's through it. Keeping his hip height strong, keeping his body straight into those Wendeschwings. Central this time. Great hand placement. Delicate and powerful. This is good work. Very compelling beginning. Rhys McClenaghan's back. Nod of the head. Job done really well. Third best in qualification with a 14.1 score. This is the opening, really attacked the scissors to begin. Showed the most unbelievable toughness coming back from what was a difficult Tokyo to be flawless in Paris, to be the greatest in the world at just the right time. Rhys McClenaghan. He has that Olympic tattoo and he has a score of 13.9. The Olympic tattoo, by the way, is based on the fact that he used to draw the rings on his forearm and on his forehead as a child. So good job he got it tattooed on the forearm and not the forehead. Denola Idrisov of Kazakhstan, top in qualification, 14.566. He was 6th at the World Championships. That coming 2 years after bronze at the Junior World Championships. He's got nice fluid scissors to begin as well. Similar sort of idea, cutting out the midsection of the horse with the Wendeschwings. Magyar Shivado sequence. Lovely level position. Keeping the body nice and straight, but he had separation there, dealt with it. A couple of moments of leg separation. Some execution cost there. Good sharp snap into the pirouette to conclude. Very nice display that from Denola Idrisov. He's been having leg separation issues here and there for a while. It's still there, it's still something to be worked on. But lots of very fluid gymnastics, really displaying such mastery of the physics of the pommel horse. This tiny, demanding apparatus. So little space the gymnast actually has to navigate their way around it. He's had an enormous amount of early success in his career as a junior. That's the leg separation moment that I was referring to. One of them. They just carry some execution costs every time. What What a strong pommel horse nation Kazakhstan is. .733. So he's lost a little difficulty and he's lost a bit more than half a mark of execution. So Rhys McClenaghan remains in the lead. Now we go to Hasegawa Tsuyoshi of Japan, part of the team that won gold at the Asian Championships. Just waiting for the go-ahead to begin his routine. It's going through the last moments. Hasegawa Tsuyoshi, he was also part of the team, by the way, that won gold at the World University Games last year. Hasegawa Tsuyoshi of Japan, 5th best in qualification. Made the Asian final on the pommel horse last year. He's 24. Different sort of beginning, scissors up into the handstand position. Height is good, legs unfortunately not quite as precise. Oh, it's amazing that he stayed on. Big hit to the execution, big hit on the apparatus, big save. Little piked as he travelled, but he travelled so rapidly from one end to the other. The leg form is all over the place. I have no idea how he's actually stayed on the apparatus. It's unbelievable determination, but eventually it just caught up with him. My word, though, that was heart, that was fight. I mean, frankly, the instruction from gravity to leave the apparatus must have been posted second class, because it took a while to reach him. Really travels around nicely in the pirouettes at the end. That's a shame, because it was a very impressive performance, but so many issues with his leg form. Kept clunking the apparatus and kept going, just almost inexplicably kept going. Hasegawa Tsuyoshi, graduate of the National Institute of Fitness and Sports in Kanoya. It's produced Olympic medalists. Did his best, but eventually he was almost destined to come off the apparatus. 14.066 in qualification. .266. So unfortunately he is very much out of the medal race, unless we get a very unexpected remainder of this pommel horse competition. Now to the second best qualifier, Aveli Siedin 19-year-old. He was 12th on the pommel horse in Germany, the Cottbus World Cup at the start of the year. Some nice work with just a single arm of contact like that. It's very good, this. This is going to be up there if he continues in kind. Oh, no, no. That was 95% of the way there. But the moment those hips dropped, no matter how hard he fought, he was not going to get back up into the dismount position. That really is a case of what might have been for the young man. Rhys McClenaghan might have been watching that thinking, my lead is in jeopardy. It's not done until it's done. And that was almost done. Really seemed to be close to successful completion. His work is not necessarily the most elegant, but it's very powerful and effective. It's got very good mechanics, but at the end he just didn't have the kineticism, the momentum to get up into that dismount position. 12.6. Really good effort. So, an intriguing first half of this pommel horse competition, because the first and second best performers in qualification have both had their issues, different sorts of issues. Zenola Idrisov having some leg separation, and Savili Sidin having those problems with the dismount. All of that means that Rhys McClenaghan is at the top of the table halfway. Every single gymnast in the first half is down from qualification, but McClenaghan is barely down, only 0.2 of a mark. The rest much more considerably. He'll be cheering on his teammate James Hickey. Next we have 8th, 7th and 6th best in qualifying, followed by the 4th best. A very stylish outfit. Good sartorial choices being made by the spectators in the Ibrahim Cholak Gymnastics Arena. Spectators of all ages gathered to enjoy this World Gymnastics World Cup. William Sundell of Sweden. Northern European champion on the pommel horse, won the title in Dublin in 2024. 8th best in qualification. But if he gets the score that he got in qualifying, he'll go into the silver medal position with 3 to go. And he's having a good go at it early on. Height is not considerable, but he's looking very solid. There, had the leg separation, but got it back. He's doing very well. He's doing very well. So that is William Sundell of Sweden. Did he get all he wanted out of that dismount? Certainly got a lot out of that routine. Just had a bit of a positional reset as he went into the dismount, it felt. Quite amazingly, when William Sundell won his second junior national title on the pommel horse, as he goes into the bronze medal position here with 13.333, his dad was actually competing at the national championships in his first ever veterans class competition. So they actually took to the competition floor at the same event. Now this is Latvia's Dimitris Mikovic, 7th best in qualifying, bronze medalist at the World Challenge Cup in Hungary last year. Always a contender. Darts really quite securely. Getting good clearance, nice straightness of the body position. This is the test, and unfortunately everything just dropped down as he went into that difficult central work, facing the apparatus into the Wenderschwings. Great effort early on, but the hand placement wasn't as it should have been. Just seemed to slightly lose his way geographically. There it was, well done the second time. Confident looking work in the Magyar Shivado section. And oh, not quite. He seemed to be up there and rather just flopped back down to ground. Dimitris Mikovic of Latvia. Just having a few issues with the cleanliness in the finals after good qualification performances. But that's okay, he's still a young man, he's still got time to develop that. First time that he came off. Then although he didn't come off here, it was not controlled at the end. I mean, he made what he could out of it, but it will be problematic from an execution perspective. Bad luck. He's got the components though, there's no denying that. Pieces are there, just getting it all together. Two to go. Flanagan is going to be on the podium. He's got a good chance of winning the whole thing. one seems to be provoking a bit of discourse at the judges' table. Still 2 events to come. We've got the women's uneven bars and the men's rings finals. Then we'll bring you all of the victory ceremonies after that last event. Plenty of excitement about the men's rings final. Yes, he's absolutely right, nearly. And I hope that he knows that. I hope that he can come away from these early competitions this season and focus on nearly being there. And just get those last little bits into place. Because there are a lot of positives. Not the first time in his life that he's had a long wait for a score. All gymnasts have to get used to it, just as they have to get used to the long wait to actually come out and compete. We can remind ourselves now of this performance of Dimitris Mikovic. The bit that he doesn't want to be reminded of, but he got back up on the horse and performed it well the second time. 12.1 is his score. Does get the same difficulty as qualification, but the execution's way down. So an overall drop of over a mark and a half. James Hickey of Ireland made the Junior European Championship final in Rimini in 2024. Made his full senior international debut last year. Good physical strength early on. What a super effort this is from James Hickey. Working low very nicely, skimming across the pommels in the Wenderschwings, and again good control. This is very tidy, this is very good. That is a job well done by James Hickey. Could be a super day to be an Irish pommel horse specialist. A man from Phoenix Gymnastics Club. Gets a hug from the Olympic champion and his teammate. Well, lots to look back on with real enjoyment. 13.333 currently holds a medal position. James Hickey's execution score in qualifying was 8.3. with a 5.5 difficulty. This looked composed, it looked physically strong. Never really seemed enormously troubled. Very well done, 13.566. He is currently in the bronze medal position. The last gymnast to go. It's the Albanian Matvej Petrov. It was in this country that he won the European title in 2020. Didn't make the finals at the first 2 World Cup events of the season. 14.066 in qualifying, 4th best in the preliminary stage, but if he does that here, he wins it. Did have a moment of hesitation going up into handstand. Now the first to go into a big flare sequence. The only one, because he's the last gymnast. Moving fast. but just didn't quite work. So there's not going to be a change to the podium, which is going to be a great excitement to all of you out there supporting Ireland. He manages to perform his Buznari. As is sometimes the case with Matvey Petrov in finals. Oh, that's a good save. Well done. Unfortunately, the lack of continuous upwards movement in the hips will be a problem for the execution. But, as I was going to say, as is sometimes the case with Matvey Petrov in finals, you get instalments of a very good routine. And indeed, it's going to have another go just to make absolutely certain of that dismount, because it wasn't as he intended it to be. There we go, now it is. All there in sections, but not joined together, unfortunately, from the veteran.
Google bölümünde final sona erdi. Birazdan asimetrik bayanlar için sporcularımızı davet edeceğiz. Orada hatırlamak istiyorum. Bir sporcumuz var. Türkiye'yi temsilen asimetrik bayanlarda madalya şansı yakalamaya çalışacak. Birazdan davet edeceğiz. Asimetrik bayanların sıvasında tekrar t-shirt atacağız sizlere.
To get to the next Olympic Games, Matvey Petrov having missed out on Paris. It was a brutally difficult qualification process for the Olympics. Pommel horse was so hard to get through in the World Cups. Matvey Petrov. 14.066 in qualification, but it will be far from that. Oldest man in the competition, and by quite some way. It's a decade over Rhys McClenaghan. .12.4, so it is 6th place for Matvey Petrov, and it means that Rhys McClenaghan, the Olympic champion, has won in his first international final of his comeback. The men's pommel horse classified results. Bronze to Ireland's James Hickey. More from Ireland in just a moment. Zeynallah Idrisov of Kazakhstan wins the silver medal, and it is Rhys McClenaghan, Hickey's teammate and the Olympic champion, who wins. The men's still rings competition at the Ibrahim Cholak Gymnastics Hall in Antalya, and Ibrahim Cholak himself is in this final. Top performer in qualification, though, that was Adam Asil, his teammate, who will be the last to go. This is an extremely impressive looking rings final. We've got the reigning Olympic all-around champion in there too, in Orka Shinosuke. I think we're in for an extremely high-level rings final to conclude our coverage on this, the first day of finals action at the Antalya World Cup. It's been great having you company. Hope you'll be able to join me for all of the finals tomorrow, the second and last day of action. Really is such a busy season for the sport of gymnastics. This month alone, back-to-back artistic World Cups. We had the trampoline World Cup in Alkmaar yesterday. There's going to be the first rhythmic gymnastics World Cup of the season on the 30th of the month in Sofia. So plenty to keep you occupied. And if you are somebody who's principally a fan of artistic gymnastics, but you are curious about these other World Cup competitions, please do join us for them. Please watch some rhythmic and some trampoline as well and get a full sense of the Olympic picture as we begin the build towards Los Angeles 2028, although really that build's already started. But anyway, from 5 rings back to just 2 of them, and this is Daniel Biafanye from the beautiful city of Buenos Aires, which hosted the Youth Olympics in 2018. He's the reigning 2-time South American champion. He actually won a South American title in Brazil, and that's a very special moment in any Argentinian sportsperson's life, being in the centre of the podium in the land of your greatest sporting rivals. Everyone happy to help out to get the apparatus ready, even Olympic medalists. Time is almost up. Time to begin. Wanting to get everything just so for this first performance. Here is Pau Jimenez from Spain, the 7th best in qualification. The all-around champion of his country. Secure looking Maltese positions. Tidiness in his handstand. Jonasson through to the handstand. And a good dismount with a bit of adjustment. Not the easiest to see the true foot position because of the pommel horse wanting to make itself known. But promising start from Pau Jimenez. Difficulty-wise, we expect Courtney Tulloch to have a huge score. He was the highest in qualification. No doubt that Adam Asil is capable of that too. Nice, tidy-looking pair of Maltese crosses from Pau Jimenez. His handstand had, again, a sense of precision to it. As he dismounted, twisting round, certainly took some adjustment steps. He has been a World Cup medalist on the rings. That was in Osijek in 2024. .22-year-old Pau Jimenez with a score of 13.5, so a little improvement from qualification. Didn't pick up the 1/10 bonus for sticking the dismount that he did in the preliminary stage, but his overall execution was better. So really well done. Now Nikita Simonov of Azerbaijan, 4th best in qualification. He was 4th at the World Cup in his home arena last week, but did win a silver medal at the first World Cup of the season in Germany. Goes up into a nice planche position with maybe a little adjustment to get there. What a level looking Maltese that was. And the wide handstand, the inverted cross, really good. Jonassen's looking tidy, little flicker there. Just a small drop of the legs in that Maltese, didn't look quite as strong. Cross does. Could very much put himself in the picture with a tidy landing. And it is a tidy landing from Azerbaijan's Nikita Simonov. He's a very experienced World Cup performer, Nikita Simonov. Translated that to European Championship success in 2024 when he won the silver medal on the Adriatic coast in Italy. Twisting round and holding that landing nicely. He didn't pick up a bonus in the qualification phase. He certainly staked his claim to get into the medal picture. Azerbaijan's Nikita Simonov. He was the World Cup Series champion on the rings last year. As I said earlier, he's just so experienced in these World Cup events. That's very good, 14.1. And he does get the 10th bonus, as we suspected. That could win the whole thing. Ibrahim Cholak. We're in the company of a great. We talk about an athlete performing at home. Well, this is an almost unique example of somebody performing in a building that's named after them. The only reason it's not completely unique is because he's done it before, but nonetheless, it's a hugely impressive thing. That's how revered he is. He's not respected, he's revered in this country. The first from Türkiye ever to become champion of the world. Very nice shoulder presentation with the signature Çolak cheeky grin. Taking maybe a little deduction for a lack of levelness in the Maltese. Maybe a small drop in the cross. Good handstand, tidy. And that's a nice dismount as well. Lovely stuff from Ibrahim Çolak in his arena in front of his fans. Well, there are some greats there. Ferhat Arujan, Olympic medalist. Also had Göksu Uçtaşan, the European Championship silver medalist on floor in Türkiye. Isn't it nice to see a veteran regarded quite appropriately? Seven times he's competed at the World Championships. This looked a lot better than qualification, and there is his iconic move, that grin that he bursts into when he's in the cross position. 13.6, well done, up by about a third of a mark from qualification. Into the silver medal position. Daniel Biafanye of Argentina. Fifth best in qualifying. South American champion. Well, we've seen Nikita Simonov, who was the World Cup Series winner in 2025. This gentleman was the World Challenge Cup Series winner. Big moment for him. Showed real consistency. Holds his planche. Got to make sure that it gets the sufficient duration. These strength holds need to not just be fleeting things. Clear couple of seconds required. That's very nice. As is that. He was very low as he landed, but my word, did he make light of it. He was 6th in Cottbus, 8th in Baku. Daniel Biafanye. Oldest man in the final. Not that you'd know it, he's as fit as a fiddle. Certainly felt that though, didn't he? As you would when doing something like a still rings routine. Incredible physical strength and control required.
İbrahim'in sertliğinde 17 ayarlamıştım. Aynısı.
It's been lovely to see his increased presence on the World Cup stage over the last year or so. He's into the silver medal position, 13.633, just nudges ahead of Ibrahim Çolak. So Simonov remains in front, as he's likely to do for some time. Warm-ups are well and truly in progress. for the second half of the rings final. We've got the Chilean Joaquin Alvarez warming up now. Courtney Tullett will go after him, and then we'll finish with Adam Asil. Olka Shinosuke of Japan has already completed his warm-up.
We have a medal ceremony for today's finals, ladies and gentlemen.
The men's still rings final, 4 competitors left to come. Here is the reigning Olympic champion in all-around gymnastics, Olka Shinosuke. And we are absolutely honoured to be in his company every time he competes. Third best in qualification, like the top all-around gymnasts. He doesn't necessarily have enormous difficulty on the rings, but he has the ability to maximise what he's got and produce a very good score. Look at how effortless he made that move up into the planche. Beautiful Jonasson. Oh, that's divine. Really beautiful gymnastics from Olka Shinosuke. And we must never forget just how complicated his journey has been. That he all but disappeared after winning the junior world title in 2019. For 4 years he was absolutely a footnote almost. And suddenly there he was, back again at the Asian Championships in Singapore in 2023, won the all-around title. And we have seen nothing but him since. Didn't pick up any medals at the last World Championships, but he knows how to produce top quality gymnastics, and he knows how to hold on to a landing as well. Orka Shinosuke. Gets very close to the lead, 14.033. It's just the difficulty. The execution way better than Simonov. He didn't get the 1/10 bonus, didn't manage to show sufficient control. That would have put him ahead. Now we welcome to the World Cup final stage Joaquin Alvarez of Chile, Pan American champion from 2024. He's from Quilpué in the Valparaiso region in the centre of the country. Best known for his work on the rings and on the parallel bars, where he has his own dismount. 6th best in qualifying, very nice performance. Good inverted cross as well. Lots to be impressed with from Joaquin Alvarez. He has little flickers here and there, like that one where he had to bring the legs back up. And a small effort to control that handstand. He makes sure that he's stable and does the right thing to set up for that dismount. Very nice. Very elegant conclusion as well from Alvarez. He's taken great inspiration in his life from his mother and grandmother. They have supported him so much. He says his nan's farm is his happy place. Actually learned farming from her. He's now studying agronomy and natural systems at the Universidad Católica. Agronomy, the science behind how agriculture and land conservation and even fuel provision actually takes place. And he's going to play an important role in society once his days as an athlete are concluded. Joaquin Alvarez of Chile, 13.4, virtually the same as qualification. The only difference is he didn't pick up the dismount bonus, but lovely work. Now this could be rather interesting. Here's Great Britain's Courtney Tulloch, 2nd best in qualification, but with a very big difficulty score of 5.7 in the preliminary round. His execution was one of the lower qualifying scores. If he can just find one additional 10th to that qualifying score, he'll go into the lead. He is a father now and has said watching his daughter's curious eyes when he's in the gym reminds him why he does it all. Holds his handstand and his planche. Move round into the Maltese, little diagonal perhaps. Very good shoulder line in the cross. There's going to be a lot here. It's a triple! That was brilliant. Triple back from Courtney Tulloch and a great landing. He was so close to those feet not moving a millimetre. That really was a belter of a dismount from Courtney Tulloch, the reigning Commonwealth Games champion. And the Commonwealth Games are happening in Glasgow in several months' time. This is surely going to be right up there. How level that shoulder presentation is. And then triple back. Yeah, look at the reaction from the sidelines. Olka Shinosuke's just become a small child who loves watching gymnastics again and momentarily forgot that he's the Olympic champion. When you get that kind of reaction from the reigning Olympic all-around champion, you know you've done a great bit of work. 14.333. He's in the gold medal position. Adam Asil of Türkiye, top qualifier, 14.033, but he now needs to get pretty much an extra third of a mark to win this. World Championship silver medalist last year after winning the gold medal in 2022. He's also the reigning two-time European champion. That's such a beautiful rise up to planche. That is very graceful gymnastics. High execution score coming. Wonderfully clean. Snaps up into the planche as though he's moving with gravity, not against it. If he dismounts as well as he's performed this routine, it's going to be a corking score. That is brilliant from Adam Asil of Türkiye. In his home arena, an excellent performance. The gentleman born in Egypt, but who has been part of gymnastics in this country for so long. Hence the change of his name to Adam Asil. Adam being a very common name in Türkiye and Asil meaning loyalty. And his loyal fans enjoyed every moment of this compelling performance. Told you it was going to be a good rings final. This should have a very good execution score. Now Tulloch is leading on 14.333. Simonov second, 14.1. Orca third, 14.033. This is the last score of the day to come in. He's got it. 14.533. The execution, 8.933. Joint highest execution score along with Olka Shinosuke, but half a mark extra of difficulty. So Adam Asil is the World Cup champion in his home country. And Courtney Tulloch is utterly gracious about it. He couldn't have done more. That was a top quality rings final. The classified results in the men's still rings final. Bronze to Nikita Simonov of Azerbaijan, silver to Courtney Tulloch of Great Britain, and the gold medal won by Turkiye's own Adam Asil. The victory ceremony for the men's floor competition. The bronze medal won by Spain's Redley Zapata. Ireland's Eamon Montgomery taking the silver medal. Welcome back to international competition. And the first time that we've seen this gentleman winning a World Cup title, but you can bet it won't be the last. Eldru Yulo of the Philippines. First year senior, the start of his rise.
Thank you very much.
Medalists in the men's floor competition.
Third place and the winner of bronze medal, James Hickey, Ireland.
The victory ceremony in the men's pommel horse competition. Bronze to Ireland's James Hickey.
Idrisov, Kazakhstan.
Olly Idrisov of Kazakhstan wins the silver medal.
First place and the winner of gold medal, Rhys McClenaghan, Ireland.
Rhys McClenaghan of Ireland takes the gold medal upon his return to a World Cup final.
European Gymnastics and Turkish Gymnastics Federation. The silver medal is presented.
We will hear in just a moment the national anthem of Ireland.
Gymnastics, men's artistic gymnastics, technical delegate. And the gold medal is presented by Mr. Suat Ceren, President of Turkish Gymnastics Federation and Vice President of World Gymnastics. Please rise and direct attention towards the flag ceremony and the national anthem of Ireland. Thank you.
The medalists in the men's pommel horse competition at the Antalya World Cup.
Third place and the winner of bronze medal, Nikita Simonov, Azerbaijan.
The victory ceremony for the men's rings competition and the bronze medal won by Nikita Simonov of Azerbaijan.
Courtney Tulloch, Great Britain.
Courtney Tulloch of Great Britain wins the silver medal.
First place of winner of gold medal, Adem Asil, Türkiye.
Adem Asil of Türkiye wins the gold medal in his home World Cup competition.
The bronze medal is presented by Mr. İsmail Göktekin, Vice President of European Gymnastics and Turkish Gymnastic Federation. The silver medal is presented by Mr. Suat Ceren, President of Turkish Gymnastic Federation and Vice President of World Gymnastics. Gold medal is presented by Mr. Molinari Watanabe, President of World Gymnastics.
And we will finish the celebrations with the national anthem of Turkey.
Attention towards the ceremony and the national anthem of Türkiye. Milli Marşımız. Thank you very much. Alkışlarımız Adem Asil için, dünya şampiyonu.
The medalists in the men's still rings competition at the Antalya World Cup.